will never fail. I trust in God, say, I trust in God, my Savior. You're the one who will never fail. He will never fail. Come on, I trust in God. He will never fail.
Wanted to preach. The title of the message would have been The Power of Partnership. Go back and read Exodus chapter 18 verses 17 through 23 and Acts chapter 6 verses 1 through 4. What you'll discover in those two particular texts, somebody say there was a problem. And the problem was in Exodus chapter 18 was that the community was growing. The children of Israel had just come out of enslavement on their way to the promised land. It was too much work for Moses to do it alone. And that's a challenge for many of us. Some of us like to do it by ourselves. Don't like to tell nobody about our challenges. Don't like to tell anyone about our issues. But Moses, his father-in-law Jethro, came to him and said, Moses, what you're doing, verse 17, he says, is not profitable. It's not good. So if you continue in this way, you're going to not only hurt the people, but you're going to hurt yourselves. Look for some men full of wisdom who don't seek after money or fame or fortune. Help them by teaching them my statutes, and then pass over the work to them. And the difficult cases you bring to Moses. But to the ones that they can handle, let them handle it. Somebody say, God always take care of problems. Then in Acts chapter 6, much like you see New Life, growing and expanding, stretching. Somebody say stretch. what you see in this season is the Lord stretching us. The Lord is stretching us in such a way that pastor can no longer do the work alone. As a matter of fact, it was never intended to do work in isolation and as the solo act. Here's the truth of the matter. The superstar of the ministry is not me or Pastor Tamika. It's Jesus Christ. The Lord calls us as your shepherds, but then he calls those to come alongside as we give leadership in this ministry. Acts chapter 6, there was a distribution after the expansion and the growth of the church. The Holy Spirit had come and been revealed. Peter preaches a powerful sermon and they all come saying, what must we do to be saved? The church grows. But the church was in a peculiar, strange, interesting time. Could I go a little further? The church was in an interesting place because the Hellenistic Jews and those who were customarily born already as Jews and those who didn't know the Lord at all had to come together and be at one. Could I tell you that division in the nation ain't the first time that you've seen it just because of what we're experiencing in our country today? That the Lord called deacons through the apostles, the pastors of that day. And that's what you saw took place today. But can I tell you that when the Spirit of God moved, can I tell you why it actually moved? It's an affirmation to not only is the Lord hearing a prayer that New Life prayed in another season. I sought the Lord and he heard and he answered. Could I also tell you that you prayed a prayer, but about your marriage?